4, 3, 2, 1.
Studio Classroom is
Studio Classroom. Studio Classroom.
Please stand by.
Studio Classroom is on the air.
Hi everyone and welcome to Studio Classroom on the air. My name is Andrea and today is a great day to learn something new.
So let's do that together. My name is Gabe. I'm so happy that you could join us today.
Well, friends, today we get to travel. Yes, once again, we get to travel with our words. And today we are going to learn about a special place in Italy, or Italy. So, have you ever been to Italy? Or if you could travel to Italy, where would you like to go? Gabe, can you share your answer?
Well, several years ago, I took a trip to Greece and actually we got stuck in Rome on a layover because we missed our flight. So a couple of us decided to go out and explore the city of Rome, which was amazing. I mean, we only had a few hours, but it was just great to walk the streets of Rome. And I would love to visit Venice. The next time I travel to Italy, Venice is on my list.
Oh, wow. That sounds like a great place to visit. Well, a while ago, we did an article on Advanced about Tuscany. And ever since reading that article and teaching about it, it was about bicycling or cycling around Tuscany. And this is an area close to Florence. That would be the big city that it's close to. And since doing that article, I've always wanted to go there, or it's kind of on my list, my travel list.
Well, Tuscany, Venice, these are great places to put on your list if you want to visit Italy. But our lesson's going to tell us there are a couple of more places we want to think about and make sure that we hit up if we have a chance to visit Italy. Our lesson today is called Exploring Cinque Terre. Well, friends, open up your magazine. Let's see if we got that pronunciation correct. Let's get into our first reading for the day.
Exploring Cinque Terre. Experience the beauty of Italy in 5 small villages. Any trip to Italy should include stops in Rome, Florence, and Venice. But Italy is more than just big cities, cathedrals, and famous works of art. The country is jam-packed with good food and beautiful scenery, especially in Cinque Terre, the 5 lands. These 5 lovely hillside towns, Riomaggiore, Manorola, Cornelia, Vernazza, and Monterosso sit high above the Italian Riviera. You can take a train or the local ferry to get to each one, but hiking is the best way to experience them. The trails that connect them are spectacular.
Hi everyone, welcome to Language Lab. I'm Jack. 我们先来看 jam-packed 这个形容词，意思是挤满的或是塞紧的。譬如 The box Ralph received from his parents was jam-packed with his favorite treats. Ralph 收到父母寄来的箱子，里面装满了他最爱的零食。或者是 This cake is jam-packed with real fruit. 这个蛋糕里塞满了新鲜的水果。或者是 Terry's schedule is always jam-packed when he visits his hometown because all of his old friends want to see him. Terry 回到家乡时，他的行程表总是排得满满的，因为他的老朋友们都想跟他见面。接着我们再来看 ferry 这个名词，意思是渡船或是渡轮。譬如 We took the ferry from Vancouver to Victoria on Vancouver Island and spent several days exploring. 我们从温哥华市打渡轮到温哥华岛上的维多利亚市，在那里逛了好几天。Ferry 当动词，意思就是渡运或是运送。例如 The small boat ferries people and supplies over to the remote vacation island once a week. 这艘小船每周一次运送乘客和补给品到这个度假小岛。或者是 Jason and Cora ferried their personal belongings in their cars to their new apartment. Jason 和 Cora 用他们车子把个人物品载到新的公寓去。Okay, let's get back to our teachers.
Thank you, Jack. That was a jam-packed language lab. Well, friends, we are exploring Cinque Terre. What a beautiful place. Experience the beauty of Italy in 5 small villages. That's the deck of our lesson. Our article starts by saying any trip to Italy should include stops in Rome, Florence, and Venice. Now, of course, those are 3 of the most popular big cities in Italy.
That's true. And maybe you've heard the phrase before, no trip would be complete without something. We could actually say that here. No trip to Italy would be complete without a visit to Florence, Rome, and Venice. That's a great sentence pattern for you to know. But how does our lesson continue?
Well, it continues by saying, but Italy is more than just big cities, cathedrals, and famous works of art. So what it's saying is that when you think of Italy, you might think about the big cities that were mentioned, or other big cities, cathedrals, and famous works of art. But it's more than just that.
That's right. Actually, you know, if you go to Rome, one of the famous places to visit is the Sistine Chapel, right? And that's where they have the famous paintings on the ceilings by Michelangelo. So you get, you know, a big cathedral-type place with the works of art in it as well. And that certainly is one of the things that I think about when I think about visiting Italy.
Absolutely. So what is a cathedral? How would you differentiate a cathedral versus a church?
Yeah, that's a good question. The first thing that comes to my mind is that cathedrals are a lot more decorated on the inside and perhaps on the outside. I think of the Catholic religion when I think of cathedrals, and I think of Christianity when I think of churches. However, the definition is a little different than that. In a cathedral, it's presided over. There's one bishop in charge in a cathedral. And with a church, it's usually a group of people who are in charge, maybe a group of priests or something like that. And you can go look up the definition and the distinction between those words a little more if you want to have a better understanding, friends. But those are some basic distinctions.
Okay, yes, great. Thank you so much. So Italy is more than just big cities. There's more to do than just go to the big cities, cathedrals, and see famous works of art. Now, this phrase, works of art, talks about painting, sculpture, music, anything that is in the realm of art.
That's right. We usually use the word work. Sometimes we might use the word piece as well. A piece of art or a work of art. Those are 2 measure words that you can use with the word art. Now, let's take a look at that sentence pattern you see in that sentence. Is more than just. Italy is more than just big cities. There is more that you can do there than just visit the big cities. Here's another way to use that sentence pattern. Studio Classroom is more than just an English lesson. We come here to learn about things from all over the world, and even some words in other languages, like we learned about those German words earlier this month.
Okay, you got it. Well, friends, as we continue our article, we find out what Cinque Terre means. And what does it mean, Gabe?
Yeah, the 5 lands. In fact, when I saw the title, I thought it was pronounced Cinque Terre because when I was learning Spanish, that CI is pronounced S, right? So like for Cinco de Mayo, for example, the 5th of May, it's pronounced Cinco de Mayo. But in Italy here, we read it's pronounced Cinque Terre, and that is the 5 lands.
Well, and we find out more about these 5 lovely hillside towns. And we're going to learn more about them as our article continues. For now, it's time to go and see our friends at the Info Cloud.
Welcome to InfoCloud, everyone. Would you like to visit the Mediterranean region?
I sure would. That is a sea that has so many beautiful countries surrounding it, including Greece and Italy.
Well, I have an interesting fact to share with you about the name of this body of water, but it requires us to learn a little bit of Latin.
Latin. Mania, we are an English teaching program.
I know, but many English words get their roots from Latin, including Mediterranean.
Okay, let's hear it.
The first part of the word comes from the Latin word for middle, medius, and the second part, terra, means earth. So it is literally the sea in the middle of the land.
That's an accurate description. And now that you mentioned it, the word terra shows up in a lot of English words like rice terraces.
And territory. These are all words that have to do with land or earth.
You are right. And I just thought of another one. What does the T stand for in ET?
Extraterrestrial, a being from outside of the earth. Friends, can you think of any more English words that use the Latin root terra?
美丽的地中海是许多人向往的旅游胜地。欧洲的希腊和意大利都算是地中海沿岸的国家。今天就要跟大家介绍 Mediterranean 地中海这个英文单字的由来。其实 Mediterranean 这个字源于这个拉丁文的 medius， 也就是中间的，还有 terra 土地。变成 Mediterranean， 也就是处于众多土地和国家中间的广大海域地中海。除了 Mediterranean 之外，许多英文单字都是从拉丁文衍生而来的，像是 rice terrace 梯田，也就是像那种阶梯式的那种田地，还有 territory 领土，都有拉丁文的土地 terra 在中间。这就是今天的 InfoCloud， 下次请再见。
Studio Classroom is on the air.
Welcome back to Studio Classroom, friends.
It's time to play Fill in the Blank.
Oh.
Gabe, are you ready?
Okay, yes.
Okay. This is from the first part of our article. Now, you can take a train or the local ferry to get to each one, but blank is the best way to experience them.
Okay, the best way to experience is
Yes.
by blank.
Yeah.
Biking.
No, not biking.
Liking. Liking, like you like on Facebook?
No, Gabe, I have a few hints right here. By
You got a backpack?
I got a
and
backpack.
A stick used
A walking
for
stick.
hiking. A hiking stick.
You got it.
Hiking does sound like a pretty good way to experience them.
Absolutely. Well, let's keep learning more right now.
Exploring Cinque Terre. Rio Maggiore. This is the southernmost village of Cinque Terre. The castle of Rio Maggiore, perched on a hill above the village, is the best place to enjoy a view of the sea. The Via dell'Amore, Lover's Lane, begins in Rio Maggiore. This kilometer-long romantic path is famous for its magnificent views and leads to the next village, Manorolla. Manorolla. Here, colorful houses face the sea, and steep, narrow alleys lead you down to it. Once there, you'll find a small square, or piazza, with seafood restaurants where you can try delicious octopus or mussel dishes.
好，再来看 perch 这个动词，意思是坐落于或是停留于。譬如 My friend lives in that mansion that is perched on the hill above the town. 我的朋友住的豪宅坐落在这个城镇的山丘上。或者是 A yellow bird perched on the bird feeder and began to eat. 有一只黄色的鸟停在喂鸟器上吃起鸟食。Perch 也指坐在什么上面。例如 When I walked in, the kids were all perched on stools at the counter, drinking their sodas and chatting. 当我走进来时，孩子们都坐在吧台的高脚椅上喝汽水、聊天。最后来看 magnificent 这个形容词，意思是雄伟的或是壮观的。譬如 Our hotel room has a magnificent view of the river valley. 我们住的饭店有壮观的河谷景色。或者是 Almost all of John's brothers have magnificent voices, and they sing together often. John 的兄弟们都有非常棒的声音，他们经常合唱。再来看一句 Anna looked magnificent as she walked down the aisle in her wedding dress. Anna 穿着婚纱走上红毯时，看起来好高贵华丽。All right, let's get back to our teachers.
Magnificent work, Jack. Thank you so much. Well, friends, right away we get into these beautiful hillside towns, starting with Rio Maggiore. Now, this is the southernmost town, and we find out that there is a castle there. It is perched on a hill above the village. Now, one thing we thought was interesting to point out is that there are different kinds of castles. Of course, there's that Disney princess elaborate castle, but here we're looking at rugged castles that are made out of stone.
Exactly. You know, I actually mentioned that Disney princess castle earlier this month when I talked about our honeymoon because that is the Neuschwanstein castle. That's the castle that inspired the Disney castle. However, you said there's a lot of castles that are just kind of made out of what looks like just big stones, right? And piled on top of one another, big gray stones. Maybe you could say they have kind of a rustic look. That means kind of a plain and simple but countryside look to them.
Right. Well, this castle is perched on a hill above the village and is the best place to enjoy a view of the sea. Now that sounds absolutely lovely. Well, we also learn about another interesting part.
Well, right. So we have the Via del Amor, Lover's Lane, begins in Rio Maggiore. This kilometer-long romantic path is famous for its magnificent views, and it leads to the next village. And you can see it right there hugging the mountain, this kind of line, this little path that goes around the mountain here from one village to the next. And you can imagine it really does lend itself to some magnificent or spectacular views.
Wow, yes, that looks absolutely spectacular. Well, in that sentence that Gabe just shared, we see this kilometer-long romantic path. Now here we see kilometer-long. Now here we're talking about the length of something.
That's right. So you could use the word long after a word to talk about the length, like the physical distance, or to talk about the time that it takes to do something. For example, my 3-hour-long trip, right? Or recently, my wife and I enjoyed the Godfather series. Now that is a 9-hour-long series of movies. It's 3 movies, but it's split into, they're 3 hours each, so it took 9 hours. It's a 9-hour-long series.
Well, even though this lane or this path is only a kilometer long, which is not very long, right?
No, it actually looks longer in the photo, doesn't it?
It does, but it's also kind of, windy, or like how you said it hugs the cliff, so it wouldn't be an easy trail to walk or to ride.
Well, I imagine it wouldn't be too difficult either, because after all, it's called the Lover's Lane. I mean, if people had to like rock climb over the sides of the mountain, there's not much time to slow down and have a romantic moment.
Good point, Gabe. Good point.
Maybe? I don't know.
Well, let's look at the next city. It is Manorola. And here, colorful houses face the sea. Now, when a house faces the sea, that means the front of it looks toward the sea. So again, you see that spectacular view.
Exactly. Okay, so there are steep, narrow alleys that lead down to it. Once there, you'll find a small square, or piazza, with seafood restaurants where you can try delicious octopus or mussel dishes. Now, that word piazza is similar to the word square in English. Actually, there's another word that sounds a lot more similar to the word piazza, and that's our word plaza, P-L-A-Z-A. It could mean the same thing.
Right, so it's a place where people would meet or gather, right? And of course, here you can go to the piazza and you'll find things there like a seafood restaurant where you can try delicious octopus or mussel dishes. Now, Gabe, it sounds like you like seafood.
I do enjoy seafood. I have had a terrible allergic reaction to mussels before, so I'd rather try octopus here. But really, I'd rather swim with octopuses than eat them. Anyway, friends, that's all the time we have for today. However, it's time for us to enjoy a conversation about asking for time off. Maybe you can ask for some time off and go to Cinque Terre. Right now, let's enjoy this conversation. Hey, Maria, you look nervous.
I am nervous. I'm going to ask my boss for a 3-week leave, but I only have 1 week of annual leave left.
3 weeks is a long time. What do you plan to do?
I plan to backpack through Southeast Asia with 2 of my friends.
That sounds fun. Is there a good chance your boss will say no?
Yes, a colleague of mine asked for 1 month leave a couple weeks ago, and the boss told her, if you take a month leave, you don't need to come back.
Wow. Maybe you should ask for a shorter leave. You would have a better chance of getting your leave approved.
That's true. Maybe I'll just ask for 2 weeks of leave.
Annual leave. Annual leave. Colleague. Colleague.
Approve. Approve.
Well, maybe you could hit up Cinque Terre the next time you ask some time off of work. Okay, well, we're learning about Italy, and there's some wonderful places to visit in Italy. But what kind of food do you like that comes from Italy? What kind of Italian food do you like?
Oh, Gabe, what kind do I like? There's so many options, so many wonderful options. But I have to say, I really like pizza. Pizza. Yes.
Pizza.
Pizza.
A pizza pie.
So, yes, a pizza pie. But, of course, there's so many ways you can enjoy pizza, right? I really like it with lots of olives and chicken and spices and, of course, cheese. I also really like lasagna.
Hey, I was going to talk about lasagna.
Oh, sorry, Gabe. Can you please share what you
that's
think?
my
I'm just
favorite.
getting excited.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Lasagna is one of my favorite types of, you know, I guess in Chinese they call it 千层面. Is it a kind of noodle, though? Even though it's like 1,000-layer noodle, so many layers in there. Yeah, I guess the layers that they use is similar to what they use for noodles, right?
Right.
Yeah, but I just really love the taste of lasagna. Friends, what about you? What's your favorite kind of Italian food or drink or something like that? Maybe you could talk about that in English or Italian. And we'll see you next time as we learn more about Cinque Terre right here on
Studio Classroom.
At all times, a good friend lasts a lifetime. I am so proud to have you in my life. A good friend lasts a lifetime.